little silly. So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
How was your spring break, Lori?
Oh my god. Busy. I got my COVID
Awesome.
shot.
So true.
Yeah, I got my first COVID shot. Pfizer gang. Oh, that's the only one I can get.
Learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I did. It's okay. And I started painting the Black Braid skeleton guy on like my biggest canvas that I have right now. Um, so I started that on the last day. I thought I could finish it. I didn't.
You're never gonna finish that now.
With what time?
With what time?
I don't know. It was pretty good. My business was good. So yeah. How about you? How was your spring break?
Well, I mean, spring break was pretty good up until the weekend hit. I'm not gonna lie. Had a pretty banging couple of days. Sent out a lot of pitches. We got a lot of cool shit coming up. That's about what I did with my break. Oh wow.
Mhm.
Look at that, I'm showing what I did to myself. And then the weekend rolled around, and not the artist. Burned myself on Saturday, and I've been here since then. Just kind of vibing out. Finally got my fingers back, so I'm gonna send pitches to Weezer.
Lord. Oh no, we tried that already. They said no.
Gonna send pitches to Weezer and My Chemical Romance. I'm still getting
like,
texts about the accident. It's been 48 hours.
Oh my God.
So obviously no live music. Go watch the Corn live stream at the end of the month. Don't watch the 21 Pilots one. It's gonna suck. I don't know. I'm sure like Water Parks will do something on that day if they're still dropping the album.
Watch Brockhamptons. They did one for their album release, and then they're doing like two more.
Yeah.
It might have already happened, but just watch Brockhampton.
Watch literally anything else.
Literally anybody.
We'll send you rips of whatever you want to watch.
Exactly. Let us know.
Got a whole discography full of them.
I got like a quarter of Louis Tomlinson's in it until it started buffering, and I just gave up. So let me know if you want that.
I would love to watch that because it means I only have to watch a quarter of Louis Tomlinson. So yeah, My Chemical Romance album in July. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about some music this week. It was a fairly light week. Next week, buckle up for about a 2-hour podcast.
Do we have anything? I'm pretty sure we have an interview after.
We're gonna have 2 after that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We do.
Yep. So true. It's all good though. Someone in chat asked, when are we having Fox Teeth over? Right now, Jade is currently in my basement, and I'm going to bring them out to say hi.
We love you, Jade.
Jade's going to talk about the Free Throw single with us. So the Small Calamities dropped an album, Moments of Impact. Glory, why don't you start this one off, because you booked this review and seemed a lot more excited about this album than I was.
I did, because I checked out the single that I was notified about for the review, and I was like, oh, we could actually talk about the album. And I was instantly intrigued because their music sounds like just like that good, solid, like movie music.
It's good, solid music, bro.
Shut up. It sounds like good movie music, where it's just like, oh man, this one song sounds good. Let me go check out the artist. And their entire discography sounds like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me happy because it's always nice to find like a little gem in like music soundtracks. But for this, it wasn't a music soundtrack. It was just an artist that we were contacted about. And I was like, yo, this actually slaps. So yeah, it was good. It has it has a good vibe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, vibe.
Glory's getting all zen here.
No.
I mean, I did enjoy the record. My only thing was the intro track, the very first one, was definitely a little strange.
It was a little out of the ordinary.
Interesting way to open up the record. And then the first song off the album, it definitely took some getting used to. I did not like it off the bat. The album progressed, and I'm like, this is something I can get behind, but that lead song, the first real song on the record, is definitely interesting way to kick off the album, because it's not like the rest of it. And then obviously I always have to bring up, I appreciate that they ended the album with the slow song instead of plopping it in the middle, because that seems to be a pet peeve of mine if we're going to use slow music here.
Just put it at the end.
So yeah, but all in all, I thought the album flowed well. There were some points where I was like, this song is like not the best, because it's like the album was 17 songs long. So obviously I figured there were going to be a couple of duds, and there certainly was, but all in all, it was more hits than misses. It was not like the 1975 record where you have to...
you're going too far now.
I'm not going too far now. I'm not going too far.
We're moving on. Brockhampton released an album.
The 1975 album, which you have to like pull out half of the tracks, and there was that playlist circulating on Twitter.
My God.
Listen to it like this. Because half the album was interludes, so it wasn't like that. There were more hits than misses on this album, so I applaud you for that. Ambitious to do 17 songs, though.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, even for any band, even like Water Parks, which I know they're not going to miss for any of the 17 songs, but even that's a bit ambitious.
We're Parksies.
We are Parksies.
Brockhampton released a new album, Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine.
You were also more excited about this one than I was, so go right ahead.
So firstly, I'm going to start this off with Brockhampton. Please come on the podcast. I'm probably going to submit another request soon, but please come on the podcast.
So true.
This will probably make it a little hard for me to get you guys on the podcast for me to say this, but the album was okay. It was good, but I felt like I was kind of led on. The singles are definitely the most standout tracks for me on this album, especially Buzzcut. That's my favorite song. I've listened to it I think 50 times so far. It's so good. It is so good. It's a solid record, but it's not what I expected. It's not the vibe that I expected. It's mainly just like a lot of slow songs. It's really nothing like Ginger. I didn't expect Ginger Part 2, which was their last album. But it was like a complete left turn because it was just all slow songs except for Buzzcut and I think Count on Me was the other one. So it was a little unexpected, but it was good,
Yeah, I certainly didn't hate the record. For someone that doesn't really enjoy rap or hip hop or R&B or any of that shit, whatever spectrum this is covering. I did actually quite enjoy this album. I might have gotten lost in the record. I might have just zoned out. I don't fucking know. But
one of those.
Because I did I listened to it in bits because I was having a hard time focusing on music when I was going through this album. So I did listen to it in chunks, but I thought it was good for what it was. It's certainly not something I'm going to come back to or anything, but a couple of the songs definitely stood out, namely the singles that you brought up. But all in all, I thought it was a solid record. A lot better than some of the shit on here.
I would also like to bring up, I really like their album rollout plan because they literally dropped one single along with the album release date, dropped one more single the week after, and then it was the album. It wasn't a whole 3 months before you're dropping the first single without any sign of an album. Then on the second one, you're saying, oh, by the way, we have an album coming out, but it's in 4 months. So
no,
don't forget about it.
The second single is, oh, we have an album. We'll announce the release date soon. And then 4 months later, they give you a release date that's a year from now.
Exactly.
But the strange thing about the pandemic is you don't know if the single, back before the world shut down, you knew single equals album coming up or EP coming up. Now it's just these bands could be doing whatever the fuck they want.
They could just be, doing a little silly tune and putting it out, and that's it.
Because right now we don't know what that All Time Low thing is leading up to.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I don't even think Alex knows what it's leading up to.
I thought that was just a B-side.
No,
it sounded
they were in the studio. So they're not sure. This was from their most recent studio session. So I watched the Roxanne interview Alex did about this.
Of course,
and he
was it with your favorite James Wilson Taylor?
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it was just Alex talking. But he doesn't even know what it's leading up to. So you love
just
that.
Just doing little tunes and singing his little song.
But the Brockhampton album was better than I thought it was. So AFI dropped a couple of singles. I ain't gonna dare try to pronounce the first one. and Far Too Near.
Okay.
I think that these are some of my favorites off of this record so far. The record comes out on June 11th, and they've been putting out singles for the past like 3 months. So this is the prime example of what Glory just brought up, which is the shitty album rollout that is 6 months down the road. Fuck that. Yeah. We're in the pandemic. Announce your album
just drop
2 weeks.
Stuff.
Just announce the record 2 weeks before it's going to come out.
Or just pull like a Taylor Swift, and somebody else did it, but I remember Taylor Swift because I think that was the most recent, where it's like she just announced it and then dropped it the next night.
Taylor Swift's been doing that like with all her shit.
For the past 2 records, Evermore and Folklore.
And then she just put out another one that's got a bunch of shit on it. I don't fucking know.
Oh, it was a re-record.
Yeah, I ain't gonna fucking listen to it. But I think that these singles are some of my favorites off of the record. They've definitely been hit or miss so far, especially some of those the lead singles for this album.
Haley Williams. Sorry, that was the other person. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why they're dropping 2 singles in with each one, because I haven't seen anywhere that this is going to be a double album. So what the fuck? Maybe
they're gonna surprise us, or maybe they're dropping like B-sides along with main singles.
I don't know the point behind it. Like, I mean, we'll know in 2 months when the record comes out.
2 months. See, what is up with that? Just give it to us. Drop one single.
Drop it in our email right now, and we'll tell everybody what it is.
Exactly.
But I was looking today. I just saw people calling it an album, and typically when it's like gonna be a double album, everyone makes sure to specify it's a double album, because for some reason that's special when you could just drop an album with 20 songs on it.
But nobody wants to sit down and listen to an album with 20 songs. You just said that.
Well, I know that, but like. When you're listening to a double album, you're listening to it back to back, so it's still like listening to 20 songs. You're just being fancy
with a double
about
album. No, with a double album, you can sit down, listen to that one album, save the other album. It's not like a continuous story. It's just like a part 1, part 2.
Yeah, but that's really dumb.
It's not. I would prefer a double album over a 25 song.
Like
album.
in the world of Spotify, though, Spotify's just going to keep on playing it for you. Whereas like when you're listening to an actual vinyl record, you sit down and you put on one album, and then you'd be like, I'll come listen to the other one later. Whereas like on Spotify, you're sitting here doing your work, and suddenly you listen to 25 Smashing Pumpkins songs, and you're brutally depressed now. Brutally.
God, Smashing Pumpkins. God.
So what'd you think of the songs?
I thought the songs were great. My favorite was Far Too Near.
So true.
So that's all I have to say. You went on a little rant.
I went on a little tangent.
Yep, go do your little rant.
So true.
But yeah, I don't really have much to say. Dance. Over the Weather dropped a new single, Tom. I really liked this single.
Period.
This was cute.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, I like this song. I actually listened to the whole EP earlier today, but we're not talking about that yet.
You should.
But I did enjoy the single, and it's definitely different from the LP they dropped. God, almost 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a while back when we first like spoke to them. It was still recent.
It was August of 2019, I think, is when it came out. So when we spoke to them, it was only like 6 months, but it's been a year since then. So yeah, there's definitely been a change in sound. I'm kind of digging it. I definitely prefer this sound over the LP sound.
Definitely.
So I
like the direction.
Yeah, I'm very excited for obviously the EP, and then whatever comes with that. More tunes, bro. More tunes like this.
More tunes. Good job, guys.
8 Graves.
Yep.
Dropped a single. Bad Faith.
What?
I enjoyed this one too. I think that this was one of their best so far.
Yeah, this was my favorite song that they've dropped.
I don't know, that EP, we talked about it with them. It was all right, but some of it was definitely on the interesting side. This was definitely my favorite out of everything they've put out that I've had to listen to, because our old co-host Rayanne tried to get me into them as well, and I invited most of it. Yeah, it was definitely like that EP that we talked about with them. That was definitely.
I think it was Red. That was Red. Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, but this is definitely my favorite. How many times am I gonna say it's my favorite?
I don't know. Okay. Redwood dropped a new single, Rewind. I enjoyed this a lot. I think this one is actually like climbing what should I call it, listens wise. I
As it
saw them
should.
posting about it. And I
As
was
it
like,
should.
yeah, it's a good song, as it should. So well done, Redwood. Sounding great. And come back on the pod. Well, actually, when you drop something bigger, because
The single thing,
just,
the single thing isn't working out.
Yeah,
quite frankly.
yeah.
I enjoyed this one too. I think I enjoyed the single that we chatted about them with just a little bit more, because
that
like
was a really good
this one was definitely on the slower side.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how I feel about slow tunes. But I'm not gonna get into that. I thought it was good for what it was, which was a slow tune. Zari Alexandria fuck dropped a single wish you'd know.
Wish you'd know. Sorry.
God damn.
There you go.
I enjoyed this song as well. I hate that our introduction to her, I know it wasn't yours because you would listen to whatever she had sent us before Broken Skeleton, but I hate that at least my introduction was Broken Skeleton, because everything is so different from that. I know she told us that, but everything is so different from that, and I never know what to expect from her now. So I enjoyed this single as well. And what is she putting out, an album or whatever?
Yeah, she's putting on I'm pretty sure it's an album. If not, it's an EP, collection of songs. It's just a safe way to call it, I think. I'm pretty sure it's an album. I saw album on the timeline. But yeah, this was a very good one. I told her that it was my favorite song she's released so far. I did like Quarantunes. My dad liked that one a lot. I think that was an EP that she put out. Very good. I like this direction she's going, and it's just a really good song. I enjoyed it a lot. Good job, Zari. Free Throw released a new single, Cloud Sick.
There were twinkles.
Love twinkles.
You can love twinkles.
I do.
I don't. I mean,
is that all you have to say?
No, because it was a good song. It's just like it opened up with the twinkles. I'm like, oh goddamn. But I enjoyed this. Sam's been telling me to listen to a Free Throw album for a while, which I think it was the last one they put out. And they're like, it's heavy. And I listen to this, and I'm like, I think they're bullshitting me. I'm not gonna lie. This isn't bad though. I enjoyed this.
I also enjoyed it. Twinkles.
Always
a 10 out of 10 for me. Thank you.
Good.
That's all I gotta say.
So true. Black Veil Brides dropped a single, Fields of Bone, and they finally announced the album, which is coming out in June. So back to what Gloria was saying about that fucking bullshit.
Please just announce it, drop 2 singles, and then just drop the album.
Announce it, come on the podcast. I don't care about your size. I don't care what management says. Drop it, come on the podcast.
Well, we've grown since their last one, so I'm sure we have a better chance.
I was talking about just every single band ever.
Oh, yeah, still holds up.
Yeah, every single band ever should come on the podcast. So, but I mean, I've kind of been like indifferent about both of the singles so far, but this one definitely took a couple listens before I was even like, this is even passable. So I don't think it's awful, but it loses a couple of points when it took a couple of listens to get into. And I listened to it on Friday. I was like, oh my god, new Black Veil Bride single. I was like, oh my god, this sucked. This is awful.
Oh no, and you want them to come on the podcast?
Well, because I think the album's going to be good. I just think that this one's a miss. And Scarlet Cross, I listened to it like 60 or 70 times because it keeps on coming on Spotify radio. So that one's definitely grown on me. So
is this the one with Kellen?
No, this has got Andy Black.
This is Andy?
This is Andy.
Lord. Okay.
There's so many scene kings and queens.
I don't know, dude.
Whatever.
They're like 3 because it's Andy, Vic, and Kellen, right?
Yeah.
I think those are like the 3 main
the 3
ones.
The big 3, I think.
Does Andy have any allegations?
I don't think so. It was the guy Ashley in the band who they kicked out was the piece of shit.
Yeah. Man. Well, 2 out of 3.
I mean, even Pierce the Veil is questionable because we don't know if the drummer's in the band anymore, and Mike is his brother, who is the drummer.
I don't understand, because wasn't he in like a video that they posted during
Yeah,
quarantine for
very
like
early
a live
on.
session or something?
And then
But
Vic
it was
said in
like
like an
virtual.
Instagram comment, he was like, "No, he's out of the band." Like, okay,
And then he shows up like a month later.
but you guys posted a video with him a week ago. Is he in the band or not?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyways, I thought this was okay. I'm not a Black Veil Brides person. I remember a guy that I knew tried to get me into Black Veil Brides, and I tried listening to them. Andy Black's voice was way too deep for me. It was just unlistenable.
Why is it like I don't know what it is with these like scene people, either having way too high of a voice or way too deep of a voice.
Oh my god.
Like Kellen Quinn, the first time I listened to Sleeping with Sirens, I was like, oh my god, did I find another female-fronted band that's post-hardcore? Holy shit, no way!
See, and I still, like, up to, I think, like, the end of last year, I thought, that, oh my god, what's their name? Palais Royale song with Kellen was a girl. This entire time. Like, no offense to Kellen, it's just, I didn't know who he was, or I didn't listen to them much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I was like, oh, for some reason, I think my brain registered at like Kelly or something. So I was like, oh, it's a girl. And then I read it again and I was like, wait, the Kellen Quinn? So it's definitely interesting. So to become a scene king, you have to have either a deep voice or a very high voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only requirements. Silent Planet and Fit for a King released 2 singles, Trilogy and Stockholm. My favorite was Stockholm. Even though it was super heavy. Trilogy was in that weird middle ground where it was like, is it heavy or is it was like, it's not butt rock.
No, it's certainly not butt rock.
It wasn't my favorite. That's yeah.
This release was interesting because it's 2 songs that are already out, but the vocalists from each of the bands jumped on the other band's song.
That's so cool. Wait, so it was Trilogy, Silent Planets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's off their most recent album, and then Stockholm is off of Fit for a King's record.
Yeah. I
thought the release was interesting, and it took me listening to it again and then Googling it to see what the purpose of this was, to get that's what was going on. Because they were both in the artist section, but it didn't say like featuring, and like I didn't see any. I just saw that this came out and was like, okay, did they just put like
Fit for a King?
But it's not really. I need like real
new Fit
for a King.
That was your reaction. Oh, new Fit for a King. Not really, but
like this wasn't awful. I don't really see the purpose behind it. I know it's just like more content, considering the world shut down. But I mean,
really?
No shit. Wow. In case you missed it, world is not open yet.
Shut down.
In case you missed it, the world is in flames. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say about it, because it's just songs that were already out, and they said, hey, we're gonna jump on it, and not even add a verse, just like sing in the background, because it's not even prominent. like the Stockholm single sounded worse than the album version. I don't even know how it's possible. Like they must have remixed it or something. But
yeah, they must have done something. But out of the two, Stockholm was the better one, though.
It just sounded so different. I was like, did they just like drop demo versions and then do it as like a split? Like, what the fuck is going on
interesting.
Here? Interesting, but
interesting.
All right,
it's a new theme. It's a new trend.
Glimmers dropped a single, By the Lips. I every single time Glimmers drops a song, it's like they don't fucking miss. They physically cannot miss. I'm so excited for the EP. And
why haven't they blown up yet?
Literally. I mean, I'm sure there's only a couple of songs left off the EP, considering they've been dropping a single pretty much every week. But I enjoy what they're doing. Oh, granted, I haven't watched the music videos, but I enjoy the concept behind the music videos and kind of telling a story, both through the music and then also visually. It's crazy that a band is able to get something like that done, considering the world is in shutdown.
Also a band their size.
Yeah.
That doesn't, So bigger bands, you don't have an excuse to just put together no thought to a music video.
They're doing like a Fall Out Boy, what Fall Out Boy did for that one album that wasn't that good. Save Rock and Roll.
Save Rock. I was thinking Save Rock and Roll. I didn't want to say Save Rock and Roll though.
It's so bad.
See, Save Rock and Roll has the one song, right?
What's the one song? Are you saying Centuries?
Yeah.
That's off American Beauty, American Psycho.
But that has like that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it is.
That doesn't fit though.
The song, the only song I remember off
Let me look at
of
the track list.
Save Rock and Roll, I think is Save Rock and Roll's got the funny lights song or whatever, I think.
I never was able to get into Fall Out Boy except for their first and most recent album. So yeah, I'm trying to see here. Okay, the Phoenix. Oh, they have the My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
That's what I meant.
That one.
That one.
Yeah.
Centuries is off of the album after that.
Wait, there are a lot of good songs on this. I just think as a whole, it just sucks.
It's just they've got plenty of good songs post hiatus, but when you listen to any album in full, it's just awful. It's like you know the songs that are good, and then the rest of it is just so bland.
Yeah, it's like you can't listen to a song without dreading, oh god, the next one.
The next one is
bad.
garbage.
Yeah. The Main dropped a new single April 7th. The Main doesn't miss. I love you. Come on the podcast, please.
I think this one was better than Sticky because Sticky got a little repetitive.
Yeah,
towards the end, but this one was consistent throughout and not repetitive at all.
Yeah. What I love about The Main is that like they could throw anything behind the vocalist's voice. I'm sorry. I'm not like a stan of The Main.
John?
I just really like them. John? Mm-hmm. That's his name? Wonderful. John, you're very, very talented. So is everybody in the band. But you could throw like anything behind his voice and still recognize it as The Main.
Mm-hmm.
Like some vocalists have that and some vocalists don't have that. But with John, it's like his voice is just so iconic. It just clicks in my head every single time. They've switched up their sound before and it still just sounds like The Main because of John. So I think that's awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, they're another band that did the thing that we talked about earlier, which is they're dropping the album in July, and it's currently April. So we're not going to hear that for a couple of months.
Why? I think that every band should start the trend. Every band in DIY should start the trend so that it finally gets up to the upper people. So you drop one single and with the album announcement, and then you drop another single a couple of days before the album, and then you drop the album, and then you say, okay, bye. And that's it. That's it.
But
then come back like 2 years later. It's up to you.
And then come back 6 months later with a whole new album.
Exactly. Easy.
So easy. True. So Tessa Violet and Lovely the band dropped a single Games. I've been watching a bunch of Tessa Violet interviews lately because I don't even listen to her, but she seems like such a fun person to talk to. So hi Tessa, if you're watching this, have your management reach out because I want to talk to you. Pick your brain. This was another good song. I enjoyed this.
See,
what you didn't?
I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I do like Tessa. I'm just gonna say my one little piece and then go because you liked it, so that's awesome. I thought this sounded like Conan Gray, but without Conan. And it was just kind of weird because it literally just sounded like something off of his album, but just with Tessa and like Lovely the band. And it was a little confusing because that's all my brain registered. I was just like, this just sounds like Conan. It was weird for me.
I mean, I don't listen to Conan Gray, so I wouldn't even get that comparison if you like stuck it in my face. So I'm not gonna say like, oh, I see that, but I was gonna say I don't fucking know, man. You don't
listen to Conan, yeah. That's fine. I only know like 3 of his songs, but I know enough of his sound. I've listened to the album, obviously, so I know his sound well enough to be like, that sounds like his sound and what he would put out. So that's not a bad thing because I listen to his music, but it was just weird hearing it from another artist.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. Never Loved. Never Loved. Put out a new single. On and On It Goes. So true. I was listening to the podcast playlist, I think like Saturday. This song stuck out because I listened to it. I didn't even know it was Never Loved. I was just like, yo, this bangs. And I did FM and it was Never Loved. And I was like, of course it is. Of course it is because they're good. They're like, oh, they're so good. I love them. I love them so much.
They simply do not miss. I also very much enjoyed this song.
Mhm.
They leaked it early in their Discord server. I was like, God damn, this kind of go off.
It's kind of bangs though.
It's like when we interviewed them about the lead single Over It.
Mhm.
I was like, this song has
That was
got
so long ago.
it was. I told them that like this song has like the anthem feeling. It's literally just an anthem.
Mhm.
And this song is no exception. It's another one. So like, is the entire album just gonna be
Just
anthems?
anthems.
Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck are we gonna get in a month?
Yeah.
I wish I knew. But they just don't miss. This is another great song. They're another band that deserves to blow up. So Kulik dropped a single H, and he wrote a little something on Instagram about it, and I'm gonna summarize it. So someone that I think he knew wrote a poem about her addiction to heroin a few months before she passed from an overdose, an accidental fentanyl overdose, and he transformed it into a song for her family and community in 2017, and then eventually released it. So I think that's cool. Just like how he took, just a poem and was able to transform it into a full song. He's a very talented musician.
Obviously, yeah.
So I think that's cool. Granted, the topic of the song isn't cool at all,
No.
but I enjoyed the song, and I enjoy what he did to kind of make the song that. And I think it's a cool thing that he did for the family and the community and everything. So
definitely,
yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely a very big talent to be able to take a poem, as you said, and just create it into a full fleshed out song instead of it just being kind of like a, which would have been fine, just kind of like a acoustic guitar, just kind of the easy way out, I guess. Whereas there's production behind it, and there's a lot of work behind it. I think it was cool. Yeah, thought it was cool. Good job. Oh my god, my brain said no. Action Adventure released a new single, Poser, and it was amazing.
It's so good. I mean, I've seen them on the timeline because they blew up when they were still independent, and I'm gonna assume that's how they got picked up by Pure Noise.
They're on Pure Noise.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they just got signed, and they're dropping an EP at the end of the month. But I hadn't listened to them, just kind of the clip that had flown around Twitter. They kind of did a Pink Shift, what they did, which was Therapist was everywhere on Twitter.
Everywhere. I love Pink Shift.
But I never really listened to the entire song that was flying around Twitter. And when I listened to this, I was not expecting pop punk with breakdowns. That was the last thing I was expecting, quite frankly.
But it was welcomed.
It was welcomed indeed. Because I don't listen to very many bands with pop punks with breakdowns, but I need more. And this EP, I'm sure, will be something I continue to come back to later on down the road once it's out. So I enjoyed the single a lot, just based solely off of the whiplash I got when I first heard it.
Yeah, pop punk with breakdowns is definitely starting to become one of my favorite subgenres. Would that be a subgenre? I don't know.
It's easy
whatever that is.
So it's like a subgenre of pop punk. Genres are dumb.
I don't get it.
Genre.
Just that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that sound.
Good. Yep. So that's all I have to say. You guys did great. It's amazing.
So Doja Cat and how the fuck do you say SZA dropped a single, "Kiss Me More."
So true.
You seem excited about this one as well. So
I love them both. I love them both. So I was very excited. I don't keep up with them. I follow Doja on everything. And I see your posts on TikTok, and I'm like, Doja, what are you doing? And then I'm like, it's okay. You're great.
She's like, I'm just hanging out,
Exactly. And then SZA does photo dumps every 2 seconds, and I'm like, man, you guys are awesome. And then I just see them be like, oh, hey, by the way, this is out, and I'm like, wait, what? When did you guys do a song together? So I completely missed that. I think this was great. I was definitely a little confused because this came on right after Brockhampton's album, and because I wasn't looking at the tracks or anything, I wasn't watching because I was painting at the time. I was just kind of listening to the music. So I thought Brockhampton did a total like 180 and got Doja Cat and SZA on their album for the last track. And I was like, what the heck? Because it went from like spoken word poetry for the last track on the Brockhampton album to just this.
It was like complete whiplash. Yeah.
I was so confused. But it was a banger once I realized like what it was. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed this as well. I mean, once again, not something I would typically go out of my way to listen to, but it wasn't awful, which was good.
Good job, guys. You're doing great. Daniel Sherman and Mike Shinoda dropped a new single, "What You Want." So true.
We told them during the interview that we did. That this song was a banger, and Glory didn't know we had it up until I told him it was a banger.
Exactly. And then I listened to it during the interview, and then at the end told him it was a banger.
It was a banger. So I think it's very cool that he got to work with Mike and make a banging song out of it. The song's
a banger.
Song's been doing very well. He's pushing the absolute shit out of it.
Yeah, as he should.
Adding every radio station and label in existence.
It's all over Twitter. My timeline.
It is all over the timeline. I'm like, dude, I kind of wish I didn't follow the PR account. I'm not gonna lie. But I enjoyed it, which is always good.
It's very good. It's completely different from what he usually puts out, at least from what I've heard.
Because he's everywhere.
Exactly. But this was really good. I enjoyed it, and it's my favorite thing he's released, I think. It is a little experimental, but it fits him.
I think across all of his projects, between that and Crowned in Chains, it's my favorite thing that he's worked on.
Oh, most definitely. I did like King of Suffering. I think it was 2. I think that was the single we spoke about. That was a good one. I enjoyed that a lot.
Because I just remember listening to their entire discography for that one because it was so short. So yeah.
Rest in peace.
And the final topic, Glory so graciously gave it to me. 21 Poopy dropped a single.
That wasn't even funny. That was a fake laugh, but it made me laugh.
21 Poopy dropped a single, Shy Away.
Ooh.
All right. So, I mean, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about 21 Pilots in forever.
Since the apocalypse.
Christmas was
the last time we spoke about them.
Well, yeah, but before that, we talked about Level of Concern. And like even before that, I'm sure like Glory was like, we listened to Jumpsuit on the podcast.
Yeah, and you liked it.
I did enjoy it, but I think I made it known, at least during that episode. Please do not go and find it. It's god awful. You don't want to watch it. That I never really liked 21 Pilots, and now that Tyler Joseph opened his mouth on Twitter.com, why all of a sudden are they dropping songs that aren't garbage? I enjoyed Level of Concern. The Christmas song was awful, and Glory and I both agreed on that. It was just bad. And I
there was no Josh in that. We spoke about. I'm sorry, there was no Josh in it. That's like the one good part of 21 Pilots now. Josh.
So bad. It was just not
so
good.
bad. So bad.
But I unfortunately enjoyed this single. There we go. It's out. The secret's out. I enjoyed the single. I mean,
yeah, you have like 100 plays in it.
No, I don't. I have like 30.
No, you don't.
Yes.
How many?
Yes,
do you have?
I do. It's not 100. Come on, it's ridiculous, bro. I don't know why. Like, it's not even that it's the greatest thing that they've put out. It's just, it's not the same shit that they've always put out, and I never really liked that sound. So to see them go now, granted, they've talked about like, oh, you know, we're never gonna like sell out or do the generic shit, and here they are doing the generic shit. But it's
41. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, Thank 41 too many. But it's not 100. So
it's close though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's gonna get there.
Once we get to like, I don't know, like 70 or 80, that's when we get a little worried. I told you,
I'm already worried.
I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast that like my listening habits are literally just what's on my front page of my Spotify, which is why I listen to like the same 4 things for.
You're telling me you don't have playlists?
I have playlists. I don't use them though. I don't listen to playlists. I listen to albums. outside of the podcast playlist.
So you're telling me you don't listen to like one song on repeat, like
No.
Tonight by the Hot Chili Ray for like 2 weeks straight?
My listening habits aren't like that. I can't listen to a song on loop. I did it once with the first Hayley Williams track.
What is that?
Simmer.
Okay.
Simmer your mother.
All right. So this song.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. I have a lot to dissect about this song. Firstly, I'm trying to distance myself from the Dima lore that they're doing because that stuff like drags me in. I had a whole poster behind me. Not poster. It was a whole like frame.
Just their lore in general can drag you in.
Because
they always start doing stuff like when I'm not doing anything, so I start getting sucked into it. I'm like, I don't even fucking like these guys. I fucking hate Trench and everything that they've put out. Why am I getting sucked into the lore behind all their shit?
Yeah. So I was a big I was there for the Blurry Face lore when they were about to release that, and they did the whole Blurry Face like secret account thing, and then I was there for Trench lore. So I know their stuff and I know how they do it. So it's like when I saw the Dima website pop back up and a little upload thing start happening, and I was like, God, I can't do this because they suck. But when this song came out, I was like, oh God, this just looks bad because the album art it doesn't fit their discography. The song kind of fits their discography. But the song is completely polar opposite from anything they've done. The closest thing they've done is probably something on Regional at best, but even then, it was nothing like this. So I have no idea why, again, the Dima lore could explain it, where it's just like, oh, it's a fake album and they're trying to be positive because the Dima council is forcing them to or whatever. But still, that doesn't give them excuse to put out bad music. Oh, it's just the Dima council, guys. No, it's just a bad song.
It's just Tyler Joseph went fucking insane in quarantine.
It's just Tyler Joseph outed himself as a racist. But that's all I gotta say.
Yep. So that's the review of 21 Pilots. Tune in on May 21st when we chat about the entire album in full.
And oh my God, wait, can we talk? Whoa. The fact that Parks might have to move their album release date because of 21 Poopy is so stupid, and I'm so mad. I am livid.
All right.
Livid.
Okay. So my take on this is that music comes out on the same day because that's how music works. So I don't get why everyone's like so pressed. It's just because like 21 Pilots bad, that's why everyone is going after 21 Pilots, and it's like 21 Pilots bad, so we're gonna hate them for one more thing. When in reality I don't think it was on purpose. And I
don't think it was on purpose. That's ridiculous to think 21 Pilots said, oh, that they're releasing it on that day, let's do it that day as well. Why the reason I'm frustrated about it is because Austin's worked very hard on it, and this is like their one chance to kind of make it into the mainstream, I guess, or whatever. And I think it's kind of stupid how his label or management or whatever is telling them to move it just because a bigger artist is doing it on that day.
Well, they want a chance to chart number one. Which they won't be able to do with in the same.
Pilots.
They won't even like. The thing is, like, they want to chart number one, but like, don't the charts carry over? So like, 21 Pilots going to chart number one for a couple of weeks at least.
Nah, I wouldn't give him weeks.
I give him a couple of weeks, definitely, because like Parks has got like, and the thing is I was saying this in the Water Parks Discord server, which you should join. The link's on the subreddit. That like. Not 21 Pilots is just the first of many big bands that are going to put out a record this year, like big bands that matter within our scene, not just like, big bands putting out shit. Panic at the Disco, say whatever you want about Brendan, is due for a record, and it's going to do well. Fallout
Boy. It's going to
be
this year.
Fallout
Boy this year.
Due for a record. My Chemical Romance, possibly
due
putting out an album this year, has been due for a record since 2013. So they're due for an album.
Drop the record already. Yeah, drop Paper Kingdom.
And I'm sure I'm missing other big bands that are due for records this year. So, and they're gonna put them out in the summer because they want a chance at the tune of the summer. They're all gonna start rolling out those singles.
Nas has that covered, guys. Calm down.
So, like as the months kind of progress and we get like closer to Memorial Day and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some of those social media accounts ramp up. So Parks really has no choice but to either move it forward and put it out closer, like earlier in May, or push it so far back that we're not going to hear the album until like September or October. What is so funny?
I'm sorry, I just thought, because we brought up Panic at the Disco and you were just like seeing those accounts activate, I just see Brendan Urie on the Panic account just like hashtag Black Lives Matter, and then the album pre-save below it.
No, it put it in the same tweet. He goes,
Yeah,
hashtag
same
Black
tweet.
no,
It's just like-
no, hashtag Black Lives Matter, thanks for the bits, and then under that will be the pre-save.
And also, Rose, I'm going live, make sure to tune in. God.
Or that's when he'll say it. He'll do it in the same live stream. He'll start off with, I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Logan Paul, man. Oh, Logan Paul.
And then he'll say he's sorry. He'll say he's sorry. He'll say Black Lives Matter.
I'm sorry for being racist.
And then after that goes on, he'll give a deep sigh, and then he'll go, so Rose, I got a record coming out on July 8th. It's gonna be banging. It's gonna have High Hopes Part 2, and hey look, I made it on crack.
Woo. Love it.
It's gonna
None
just
of
be
the
a
credit
hyper
towards
pop
the original
album.
members. No, that wouldn't be good.
We changed every single song title from Pray to the Wicked to the song title, but on crack. And the entire record is just hyper pop. And it's going to be great, Rose.
2016 Stan Twitter would eat that up.
It's going to be great, Rose. Let's go. Thank you for the bits.
Thanks for the bits.
And that's going to be the Panic at the Disco record. Yeah. And then the stream will be available to subscribers only on Twitch.
Only subscribers,
yes.
Yeah.
So you got to pay to watch his apology / album announcement.
God, you think he's going to let people see that for free?
Absolutely not. This man's got to make his money somehow.
Exactly.
But listen, that's just why I think like Parks has got to figure it out quick. And like I know that if they don't drop it alongside physicals, it fucks up their chances of charting even more. But their fan base is crazy enough to ensure that they're going to chart number
and
one.
They all hate 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, they can't compete with 21 Pilots fans, so there's no way that on July 21st that Parks is going to be number one on the charts at the end of that week. But if Parks was to say drop it a week early or a couple weeks later, if they drop it early, they won't have the physicals. I think that Parks fans are crazy enough to do everything in their power to make sure that they chart number one solely based off of streaming numbers.
Here, wait.
That's certainly a gamble to take, but Austin could just keep on. Austin could make the band trend on Twitter all week if that's what he wanted to do.
He could.
So I think it's very possible that Parks is going to put out a record. We just don't know when. I mean, they just dropped the CDs that still have a ship date of May 21st. So,
see, 21 Pilots, that can't be right.
What?
Here we go. See, full chart history. They didn't even peak number one for level of concern. So that's why I'm like, I still think there's a chance, even if they didn't switch their release date, because if level of concern can't chart number one,
well, they didn't peak.
Why am I hearing it?
They didn't peak number one with level of concern because, like, I think in my opinion, at least, it's harder to chart, especially like in a mainstream kind of chart. Which that's another thing. Would they even be on the same chart? Like, I don't know how fucking charting works.
They would be on the same chart, because if Stressed Out can be on the number one chart, then on any of their songs can be on the number one chart. Also, they're on a bigger record label, so they can do whatever they want. They had Payola. That's why Level of Concern got up all the way to number 5, because of Payola. So they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So Parks doesn't have the backing of Fueled by Ramen to ensure that they get the number one, which is why I think that, like, based solely on fans alone, like, Parks would completely blow them out of the water, because granted, there's more 21 Pilots fans than Parksies, but
Parksies are crazy,
Parksies
dude.
Are fucking batshit. They'll open multiple Spotify accounts. Spotify have to put in new rules in place because Parks had to trend number one.
Exactly.
But with putting the labels in the conversation. 21 Pilots is going to chart #1, no question.
Yeah.
And Austin knows that, but Austin doesn't like that.
No.
And label and management knows that and doesn't like that and wants him to change it. But I don't know. Austin doesn't seem like he has as much control as he wants to. So if the label gets...
He doesn't seem happy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is another thing. There's a couple of things that Austin has done recently. #1, I wouldn't have tweeted about the fact that you were possibly moving the release date, because now it leaves everything up in the air. Is the album getting moved? Is it not? What's going on? Because it's not
now
just...
you have a lot of fans speculating.
It's not just 3 phone calls and then you announce the album release date the next day. Like, they got PR they got to move. Like, they got shit lined up that's got to get moved if they did in fact change the release date. So I think that was a bad move on his part. And also bitching about the label before the record's even out. Cut that shit out, bro. Like,
come on, man.
Quite frankly, I don't like that at all. Like, it's fine. He did it with Equal Vision, but they weren't on the same size as they were now. So I guess he could kind of get away with bitching at that point. But going on Twitter when you've got 150k followers across just one account, so you got 300k followers on Twitter alone, and bitching about the label that is still planning to put your record out,
exactly,
they can void that contract whenever they want. I
also think it's kind of stupid he hasn't given them a chance yet. I mean, there's stuff in the back that we haven't seen. Obviously, we're not there with him at all the meetings, phone calls, whatever. I just think it's kind of unnecessary, as you said, that he's just tweeting, just airing all this out, deleting it 2 seconds later, but fans are still gonna have screenshots and see it and repost it. And it's just like, it's giving firstly the label a bad rep, but it's also like, Austin, you're not in a little label anymore.
The label doesn't have the best rep anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not. They're getting sued again.
Meg, get out of there.
Megan Thee Stallion's the one that's suing them.
Oh, get your bag.
Suing the parent company.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, but get your bag, I guess.
They've certainly had some people on the label that have said, like, oh, they're the worst label ever and shit. So they have a rep for this. Yeah, but Parks has also done the same thing with Equal Vision and said Equal Vision's the worst label ever. So, like, going off of that, it's like, because most of the artists we've talked to on Equal Vision have had nothing but good things to say about Equal Vision.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah. My problem is just like, you're not in this little space anymore where you have direct connection to kind of do whatever you want in like labels anymore. You're in the big leagues now, Austin. You're not going to be able to control every little part of your release anymore because you signed contracts and they have a say in what you do with your art now. So I think it's just unfair that he's kind of almost giving smaller artists the idea, no, you're supposed to have 100% control of everything, which I feel like artists should, but still you're working with a label to put out your stuff, so they should still have a say in what you do with it. So true.
And that's where we're gonna end it, because we already know we're gonna beat the shit out of this conversation later on down the road, whether it's they move the release or not, because Austin's gonna bitch either way.
Oh, Austin, still love you, come on the podcast.
Yeah, still love you. I just think you should keep your fat mouth shut. So you can follow us on Twitter. It's good_noise_cast. Follow us on Instagram. It's Good Noise Podcast. I don't know why the Instagram's been doing so well. Follow us on Twitter. We're funny.
Wow.
Well, the Instagram's doing well, but we're not funny over there. Like, I don't regularly.
I just repost stuff.
I don't regularly go on the Instagram, but like, why the fuck we got like 1.1k over there? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Bro, I'm so happy because like,
and we're not even like using hashtags or anything. People are just finding that shit.
No, people are just finding us. I don't know how. I feel like I should start, because then that would amplify us even more, and it's like something so easy to add. So maybe I'll start adding that.
Yeah, but if we blow up on Instagram and the Twitter lags behind, I'm gonna cry, man. I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna wake up to the Instagram being deleted.
Facebook is Good Noise Pod. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. Twitch is Good Noise Podcast. Every fucking audio platform ever is Good Noise Podcast. Bandcamp, goodnoiserecords.bandcamp.com, and Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Lori's got your fucking shit about the Patreon, and then the important plugs, and then we're gonna sign off and go do this interview.
Go do this interview in 3 minutes. Okay, so Patreon supporters, I have them written down. I'm gonna start writing them down now. David, my uncle, Sam, Matt from Pulses, and Eric.
So true.
That's it. Black Lives Matter. I don't. Oh, should I say this? Because I know how DIY is. You should have a license for guns. I feel like that shouldn't have to be said. And I feel like kids shouldn't have guns either. I feel like we should kind of raise that maybe. But even then, you can still grow up to be not the smartest. So yeah, stay safe, wear your mask, get the vaccine if you can, because I would still like to see my friends before the year ends. Don't want to go 2 years without seeing them, because that would kind of suck. I don't know. Do you have anything? Oh, wait.
All the stuff trending on Twitter right now. There's so much going on today. I've just been hitting the retweet button. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Justice for Dante Wright. Say his name, because that's so. I read the story on it. It was an accident, quote unquote. What the heck? What do you mean an accident? You're a police officer. You're not supposed to make accidents. The results of a mistake shouldn't end up somebody's quote unquote accidental death. That's not. Anyways, we have 2 minutes, so I'm not gonna go on a whole rant for that. But like, Jesus Christ, dude, I'm livid. That pissed me off. He's 20. He was 20.
Cops are running out of excuses now.
They're just saying, "Oh, it was an accident." Homie, it wasn't an accident. A taser and a gun? They're way two different like weights. Obviously, that was stupid to say. One's heavy, the other one's light. How would you figure out which one's which though? I don't know. It's oh god, 20. My brother's 21, dude. That's so crazy. That's stupid. That makes me mad. That's it.
And on that note, I have been Shane.
I have been Glory.
And we have been the Good Noise Podcast. So see you next week for an extra long episode.